Emily Carter held her growing belly as she stepped into the hospital lobby. At 7 months pregnant, every movement felt heavier than the last. She had come for a routine checkup, expecting nothing more than another ultrasound and perhaps a glimpse of her baby's tiny face. Instead, her entire world shattered in seconds. Across the waiting room stood her husband, Daniel. He wasn't alone. His arm rested gently around the shoulders of a visibly pregnant young woman. He smiled at her with the same warmth he once reserved for Emily. He carried her bag, whispered reassuring words, and even brushed a loose strand of hair from her face. Emily froze. Her heart pounded so loudly she barely heard the receptionist calling another patient's name. "No," she whispered. Daniel had told her he was away on a business trip. So why was he here? And who was this woman carrying a child? Tears blurred Emily's vision. She turned away before he could notice her. Her hands trembled as she clutched the ultrasound appointment card. Every terrible possibility flooded her mind. Had he been cheating? Was that his baby? Was their marriage just another lie? Unable to bear another second, Emily skipped her appointment and rushed outside. She sat alone on a bench beneath the gray autumn sky, sobbing until she could barely breathe. Hours later, Daniel returned home. He found Emily sitting silently in the living room. "You weren't at your appointment," he said gently. Emily looked up with red, swollen eyes. "I know where you really were." Daniel's expression changed. "What do you mean?" "I saw you." Silence filled the room. "At the hospital." She stood, struggling to control her shaking voice. "You were holding another pregnant woman like she mattered more than me." Daniel closed his eyes. He looked guilty, painfully guilty. Emily's heart broke even further. "So it's true." He sighed deeply. "I wanted to tell you." "Tell me what?" "The truth." Emily felt sick. "I've been helping someone." She laughed bitterly. "Helping? She's my responsibility." Emily's knees nearly gave out. Responsibility. Only one explanation made sense. "You got her pregnant." Daniel quickly shook his head. "No." "Then explain." He hesitated. "I can't." Emily stared at him in disbelief. "You can't, or you won't." Daniel remained silent. That silence answered everything Emily feared. The next morning, Emily packed a suitcase. "I'm staying with my sister." Daniel begged her to stay. "Please trust me." "I trusted you." She walked away without looking back. Days turned into weeks. Daniel called every day. Emily ignored every message. Despite everything, he continued paying every bill, sending groceries to her sister's house, and asking mutual friends if she was healthy. He never stopped caring, yet he never explained. Then one rainy afternoon, Emily received an unexpected phone call. It came from the hospital. "Mrs. Carter." "Yes. We're calling because Mr. Daniel Carter has been admitted following a serious car accident." Emily's heart skipped. Without thinking, she rushed to the emergency room. Daniel was unconscious. Doctors assured her he would recover, but he had lost a significant amount of blood. As Emily sat beside his bed, someone quietly approached. It was the pregnant woman. Emily immediately stood. "You." The woman looked nervous. "I'm sorry." Emily folded her arms. "You've already taken enough." The woman suddenly burst into tears. "No, you don't understand. My name is Sarah." Emily remained silent. Sarah took a deep breath. "Daniel isn't my baby's father." Emily frowned. "Then why?" Sarah wiped her tears. "My husband was Daniel's best friend. He died 8 months ago." Emily's expression softened. "He was killed protecting Daniel during a construction accident." Emily blinked. "What?" Sarah nodded. "My husband pushed Daniel out of the way before the building collapsed. He saved Daniel's life." Emily felt her anger begin to crumble. Sarah continued. "After he died, I discovered I was pregnant. I had no family, no money, nowhere to go." Emily listened quietly. "Daniel promised my husband he would always take care of me if anything ever happened. So he kept his promise. He drove me to doctor's appointments, helped pay rent, bought baby supplies, but he never touched me. He never crossed any boundaries. He always talked about you." Sarah smiled through her tears. "He loves you more than anything." Emily covered her mouth. Her heart sank beneath the weight of her own assumptions. "But, why didn't he tell me?" Sarah looked away. "He promised my husband he'd protect my privacy. I wasn't emotionally ready for people to know." He kept my secret, even from his own wife. Emily sat beside Daniel's hospital bed, crying quietly. Hours later, Daniel slowly opened his eyes. The first thing he saw was Emily holding his hand. "I'm sorry," she whispered. Daniel looked confused. "I should have trusted you." He smiled weakly. "I should have found another way." Emily leaned closer. "You were trying to keep a promise." Daniel nodded. "He saved my life. I owed him everything." Emily squeezed his hand. "You didn't owe him your marriage." A tear rolled down Daniel's cheek. "I know. I was afraid you'd misunderstand." Emily laughed softly through her tears. "I definitely misunderstood." Months later, 2 babies were born just weeks apart. Emily welcomed a healthy little boy. Sarah gave birth to a beautiful daughter. Daniel stood proudly beside both mothers, not as 2 families, but as one extended family connected through love, sacrifice, and loyalty. Emily even became the baby's godmother. Every birthday afterward, both children celebrated together. As they grew older, Emily told her son a lesson he never forgot. Never judge a story after seeing only one chapter. Sometimes what looks like betrayal is actually someone quietly keeping a promise made from love. And sometimes, the strongest marriages are not those without misunderstandings, but those where forgiveness arrives before it's too late.